Here's the feces story.
Anna Goyce can breathe a little easier now that her 2-month-old baby is...
Oh, now that they cleaned her face.
Ow.
Wow, wait.
Anna Goyce can breathe a little easier now that her 2-month-old baby is physically healthy. But most of her pregnancy was fraught with fear and complications.
Instead of enjoying welcoming my baby, I was just so afraid of what would have happened, what could go wrong.
Last December, Goyce was splattered with a bag full of human feces when a group of teens threw the bag into Walgreens in O'Fallon, Missouri. Goyce was 10 weeks pregnant at the time.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no, that's terrible. That's just awful.
I know. That's just terrible.
That's the whole story?
Oh, we got a little more.
Oh, God.
Splattered feces.
Kids will be kids. You know.
I did that all the time with my buddies. We just, drive by Walgreens and throw a bag of feces in.
Feces.
It's just a kid thing,
You know, you're kidding, but...
Yes. Oh, boy.
We never threw a bag of that.
I'm going the absurd route, and Jim Norton's like, whoa, hold on.
Well, there's a
couple
truth is stranger than fiction.
We would get a dog crap and put it in the library book slot. Was a favorite.
Oh, God.
That was a favorite of ours. Me and my buddy Tom Naylor would do that in North Brunswick, just because we knew the librarian would have to fish out the books and just see that.
Try to clean up.
Yeah.
She's just a dumb volunteer.
Yeah.
And look what you're doing to her.
So you got to deal with all that.
All that, right.
So they threw the bag into the Walgreens. How did it affect her?
Yeah, we're going to find out. I'm hoping here.
On Monday, 18-year-old Kyle Medley of O'Fallon, Missouri pled guilty to misdemeanor assault and property damage. Another teen is awaiting trial on the same charges. Kyle Medley could have gotten up to a year and a half in county jail. Instead, the judge gave him a 2 years probation. And during those 2 years, he must not have contact with the victim or his co-defendant. Goyce, who works as a teacher, is angry and disappointed. At the time, she felt so humiliated, she needed professional counseling.
For Christmas, I didn't want to go out. I spent the entire the entire break pretty much in my room with the blinds closed. I want the community to get the message. We cannot tolerate this. I don't want other teens to think, well, they got away with this, so why don't we start doing this and, well, something else.
Who's doing that?
Something else.
It never happened.
It doesn't happen. It's not this big epidemic. It's just feces splattering in people's faces.
We have to carry umbrellas when it's sunny because bags of duty are flying by. Stupid. Get a hold of your blinds closed.
We have to let the community know what? The bags of doo-doo.
Does anybody think it's acceptable? Like, do you have to inform the community? Are there people that would go, I guess you're right, good point. I would have co-signed for that until you showed me.
I guess we should stop throwing bags of feces. I like the way the guy's not allowed to have contact with the victim. Like he would want to reach out and go, hey, what do you think about what I did?
His anonymous victim that just got in the way of his flying bag.
Yeah, you remember that? Remember when I threw that bag of doo-doo? What do you think about that?
Was he throwing it at her? They don't say. It was just kind of random.
I think it was random.
I think it was just, they said into the wall.
You think he is a marksman with that? Yes, he was aiming right for her face. This guy's brilliant.
Be a horrific crime.
You're born again hard.
There's nothing more deadly than a Marine and a bag of feces.
Let's go to Mike in Alabama. Mike.
Hey, guys. Great show.
Thank you.
Hey, we used to, going kind of toward the direction Jimmy was going, we used to take dog caca and smear it up underneath people's door handles on their car.
Wow. Oh, is that an awful thing to do?
Wow.
I'm just stunned by the word caca.
Yeah. It just doesn't, because it doesn't come off of your hand very easily. You can scrub and scrub and scrub. And, it's fine. It's got. Oh, well, you just talk. It's your show. Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
I'll wait for you. You tell me when you're done. The guy's talking. He's talking into his phone like it's just a CB radio microphone. The part that he hears with is in his hand. Yeah. And he's just going, blah, 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 blah. I can't hear anyone else talking. Jesus.
All right, let's go to Paul then. Paul, it's the Opie and Anthony show. What do you got?
Morning, boys.
Hey.
As usual,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'll wait for you guys.
Sorry.
I love
He
it.
doesn't want to endure a reprimand. Am I free to speak?
As usual, the news anchor got it all wrong here. The real story here is that this woman is a teacher and she can't even speak English.
Okay.
We wanted to go with you.
Yeah, we really. I was with you for the story, but then it went nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had a tough time speaking the English.
Punching out.
So I heard that too, Paul.
But that
right.
that damn under the door handle is fantastic.
That is so bad.
You should probably think at first, how did this? Oh yeah, someone put it here.
Yeah. How did a dog get his? But then, Major Nelson, a dog. But then how? But I saw and then there was. He's always so confused, Dr. Bellows.
But wouldn't you like be embarrassed that you actually have that moment where you wonder how the dog did it?
Yeah. What?
Before the smart part of your brain kicks in. Wait a second.
Young
This was a
pranksters.
gag by a prankster.
It was trickery.
What?
How many people have napkined off their hand and then angrily immediately driven to a car wash with their windows rolled up and the car stunk inside? You can't have your car.
I'd explain to the guys, could you get under the door?
Yeah, could you do under the door handle, please? Why?
Why? Just do it.
Just clean under the door handle.
Leave me alone. Chris.
It never probably goes away under there because the rain doesn't hit under the handle.
Of course not, Jimmy.
That's why it's so evil.
That's why it's brilliant.
That's fantastic.
Chris in Texas has a good one. Chris.
Where do you get your ideas? Well, I was thinking, how could I smear dog dew where the person won't even know they're touching it?
What's your process?
Yeah, well,
I've got the dog poop.
I find a car with the door. You can't use the old style ones with the push button. You need the lift handles.
Push button's good too, though. If you want to go push button, because they don't just push the button and it pops open. You got to push the button and then your four fingers loop in.
Oh, wow. I didn't even
back.
think of that.
So as you pull back, you're getting four right in the crease of your fingers.
It's
Right in the nape. Or the nape.
Yes, right in the nape of your fingers. Within that.
We got a good one from Chris in Texas. Chris.
All right, I got to make this really quick. We used to do what was called the poop purse. Now, what you do is you take an old purse that nobody's using anymore, you fill it up with various feci.
Feci.
Various. I like the fact that it's various.
Feci.
I got to make sure I have a nice selection.
Yeah, you don't want to just have one source.
Yeah, you need various.
Nice mixture. Sometimes I put in a little horse just to bind it all together. Most people wouldn't do that. They wouldn't think.
And used feminine products, if you will,
Yeah.
and set it underneath a street light and wait at night and wait for cars to pass by. People would stop and be, purse, money. Grab the purse, drive about 50, 60 yards or whatever, and all you would see is the purse fly out of the window.
Listen, we do.
Get a group of drunk
We have
people
to.
together. It's hilarious.
We have to do poo purse today on the other side. Can we do poo purse, Danny?
Boom first.
You got anything going on today?
Probably not.
That's a great
Probably
video.
can't.
A bunch of videos, though. How funny would those videos be on YouTube?
That kind of that sort of happened to me when I was a kid in a roundabout way. I was just hanging out with some of my friends and a group of older kids that we knew from the neighborhood, but they were older than us by like 5 years. They jumped out of a car hysterically laughing. One of the kids, he just hands me a bag. He goes, "Dude, hold this for 2 seconds. I'll be right back." They get back in the car, speed away. So now I'm just sitting there holding a bag of which I don't know what it is because like they had it in like 2 bags so you couldn't see through. So obviously the curiosity got the better of me. So I started squeezing the bottom of the bag. And when it was, nice and soft, I kind of realized what the gag was.
That is funny.
Although they did end up coming back to see if I was still on the corner holding a bag of food. What if they pull back up? You want it back now? Well, he ended up ripping the top of it off. So he had, the stuff in question kind of on his hand, separated by the plastic. So it was kind of like he was holding a pizza tray and then just kind of splat it up on the wall of one of the businesses.
Wow.
That's good. That's nice and antisocial.
Yeah.
But that'd be almost hot if it was like a Russian stripper who handed you the bag. That'd be almost sexy. Pretty blonde jumps out with a great body. Hold this.
Wow.
Sure.
Pleased to behold this for me. That's a Russian stripper.
Have we ever played that phone call? We got to keep it very vague. Of that girl.
That's pretty vague.
Oh, well, I'm doing
that thing?
I'm doing some
right.
stuff.
She was in the truck.
Oh.
Have we ever played it over here?
I don't think so.
I think we have, as long as we don't explain what's going on.
Really? You can't explain what's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, don't explain it now. Cause
no, I wouldn't do that. My God.
This is the only chance we have is to go vague on it. It's one of the best phone calls we've ever gotten, Brian. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, in its category.
In that particular category,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many stories there are about this.
Oh, I know. They just, like, all of a sudden, I'm looking at the phone lines. They're packed with people that have stories of what they've done with dog refuse.
Well, now we're talking to our audience. We were talking politics earlier. Crickets, nothing.
Yeah.
No phones ringing. Now look at the phone.
Or like, what if you talk about
our audience?
You know, ways to give charitably.
Oh, crickets, the phones. Then we start talking to the engineer, going, "Are the phones working? Are you sure?
Give us your best charity story."
Yeah, we're like, are the phones working? Because this election's very important, and they should be calling on this one.
Nothing worse than when you think the phones are broke, so you pick your own phone up and dial the number and see it ring. You're like, yeah, we're really hitting them today with a subject they can relate to. Yeah, who do you think Obama's picking as vice president? Give us a call. We'll take your duty stories.
Yeah, 3 weeks from now, people will be, you're still talking about bags of poop.
Let's say hi to Jeff in Jersey. Jeff, I see what you want to say, so you got to kind of, try to be vague. We got a smart audience. They can figure stuff out.
I bet he does this completely wrong.
You're going for a dump?
I'm going for let me bet. I bet he does this, so it's got to be dumped. I bet this gets dumped.
I have faith in him.
All right, $5 that it gets dumped.
I don't have that much faith in him.
All right, Jeff, please tell your story.
I'll bet $1.
All right, $1 bet.
Thank you for the confidence. What we used to do is, nice and late at night, we would go out and drink a lot of Snapples. And then when we were done with the Snapples and the bottles are empty, we would go number 1 and number 2 in them. And then go to people's homes and launch them through a window onto the second floor. That way, when it went through the window, not only did it break the window and there'd be glass everywhere, they'd have to clean up number 1 and number 2 all over their house.
Whether it got dumped or not, that's worth the $1. That's fantastic.
That's an awful thing to do. That's like horrible.
That's sociopathic.
Terroristic.
Just angry.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Wow. It's another good thing to do. If you go to the supermarket and you get bologna, like in those little packets, if you go over to people with really nice, expensive cars in the middle of the night, like say midnight, and you stick them to the car in about 5 or 6 different places, by morning, it falls off and the starch or whatever it is that's in the bologna takes off the paint with it. So you've got a nice polka dot Mercedes.
That's great. What do you do to small animals and children who are lost?
Yeah.
I like the way he said it was another good thing to do.
Yeah, I like the first one.
Yeah.
I think bad is the right terminology.
You know what else is great? You take a Snapple bottle full of gasoline and a rag. You light it and throw it through someone's window. Usually someone of an ethnic background that isn't part of our neighborhood. What?
Yeah. You take a wheelchair, you look for a dock.
All right, Jeff, thank you.
No problem.
Very good. We're going to take one more. And you know what? After the break, I think we continue with this subject because the phones are lit. Got John in New York. John.
Hey, guys. One of the fine things we used to do with dog feces was we would go to a local gym and smear dog poop all over the seats that were chained to the bicycles that were chained to the bike rack.
Why? I don't understand this.
Danny has a comment.
I just remembered something else that had happened as a child.
All right.
Me and my friends were hanging out on a golf course with some beers. So, of course, the only logical thing to do on a golf course was to have someone do their business into one of the holes.
So the cups.
So the next morning when somebody would,
Wow.
they'd go to reach in.
Oh, God.
Hey, I got a hole in one.
Yeah. Well, it takes away from the joy of that moment really quickly. Did you see that shot? Son of a
Best shot of my life.
You want to keep the ball and put it up on your mantle? You got to throw it away.
Throw it in the woods. All right, we got to take a break. Brian Regan, BrianRegan.com. That's the easiest way. You got a Letterman thing happening, but the Comedy Central, we should get out there.
August 29th is Letterman, and then September 6th, Saturday at 10 o'clock is the Comedy Central special.
And then the DVD comes out September 9th. Brian Regan, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Regan, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Regan, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Regan, everyone.
Thank you, guys.